Hi, it's Scott here from Scott Inside Out Natural Mental Wellness, here for another episode of Wellness Wednesday, along with my good friend Mikey here, my trusted Mike, giving me great sound quality outdoors, here from live from Smoky Banff. And today I'm talking about sugar. It's embarrassing for me to say, a couple weeks ago, I came to the realization that I had been starting to eat more sugar. And I do admit I have a natural sweet tooth. So in general, the last few years, I've taken to eating a lot of dates and making things with maple syrup and that sort of thing. And there's these gummies that I just love, gummy bears. They're like made, part of the ingredients are actual real fruit juice. And there's something that I take hiking at times. And a couple weeks ago, I realized I was getting into the habit of just eating these things at home. And, you know, every couple days I'd go and buy some. And what I noticed is that, my mood was shifting quicker. And, you may have heard this before. It's been said that refined white sugar can be as addictive as some hard drugs like heroin or cocaine. I've never done those drugs, but supposedly the effect it has in our brain is more or less the same. And I gotta admit, I was enjoying eating these, and then after about a week, I was thinking, man, this is definitely not a good pattern. This is turning into an addiction here. And as most of you know, that's how addictions start. It starts slow. It starts from every couple days to once a day, and then all of a sudden it becomes a daily habit. And yeah, I was just eating these gummies and loving them, and I kept justifying myself in my own mind to say, okay, well, I'm slim, I'm active, I'm burning that energy, I'm not gaining weight, in my own mind, oh, they're made with some real fruit, they're not all sugar. I was coming up with all these justifications and reasons as for why it was okay for me to keep eating these gummies. And then I came to the realization, I was in the store buying some more, and I've read so many articles and videos about especially the link between cancer and refined sugar. And you may not know, but both of my parents had cancer. My father died of colon cancer when he was 42. My mother was a breast cancer survivor. And there was a period of time in my life, like when I was in my 30s, I actually had this fear of getting cancer. And when I was buying these gummies, I kept thinking, okay, number one, this is an addictive habit that is creeping in. I know it was only a week or so, but still it's creeping in. Number two, refined white sugar literally fuels and feeds cancer cells. Something, okay, this is not good, because we all have cancer cells in our body. And so I just made the realization, like, okay, I'm gonna stop. And I made a conscious decision to stop. And I'm grateful to say that, the last week I haven't bought any of these gummies. I've still enjoyed a few sweet things here and there, but it's been more as a treat or as a reward, and it hasn't been as just something to do and something that I wanted to basically just enjoy. And for those of you who still eat a lot of refined sugar, whether you have a diagnosed mental illness like bipolar disorder or not, I'd really encourage you to look at your diet, look at your habits, because you probably know, but things like alcohol has a high sugar content. There's certain spices have sugar. There's certain sauces have sugar, and I do know that a number of years ago I did a cleanse where I didn't have any refined sugar for a period of 3 months, and that's probably the most energy I ever had. That's the most clear my skin had ever been. The whites of my eyes were very bright. I was getting less sleep, and it was a deeper sleep. So really encourage you to take an honest look at how much sugar you're having in your life. And if you are someone that's having quite a few mood swings, that could be one factor. So it's just something to really take a look at. And I encourage you to, over the next week, just be aware of your sugar intake and be honest with yourself. If you are someone that's eating a lot of sweets, especially ones made with refined sugar, just ask yourself, is this Is this habitual? Is this an addiction? And you know, it's definitely something to be aware of. Because like I say, I definitely notice my moods going up and down more when I was eating more sugar a couple weeks ago. So the second part of Wellness Wednesday is me answering the same 5 questions, and it's for me to be consistent with myself and for those of you watching. So what am I looking to improve in the next week? So I'm looking to actually list various items on eBay. There's a few items that my brother and I have of our mums, and our mom passed away many years ago, and they're figurines, and they've been sitting in a box for years. I have no idea if they have any value, but I am going to take photos of them today and post them on eBay. I did say a few weeks ago that I was going to donate and sell a few items. I donated a bunch of items in the last few weeks. I haven't sold any yet though, so that's what I'm looking to improve. What am I grateful for? Right now I'm reading a fantastic book called Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. What I love about the book is that the first section of the book really dives into the mindset around money, and it's got a ton of excellent questions and exercises to go through. Right now I'm going through the tools, the practical tools, and I'm really getting a lot out of this book, so I'm grateful to be reading it. Also grateful that when I bought the book, I actually got it for $1.99 off Amazon. It was a special. So I thought it was kind of ironic that it was a book about getting out of debt and it was so reasonably priced. What's a win you've had in the last week? So for me, it was adding to my digital Lift Me Up file. You may have heard me mention it before. I have a Lift Me Up file, both digital and in a physical paper folder for good things that people have said about me. And just today I added 2 items to my digital Lift Me Up file. One was a note from a friend of mine in town saying some really kind things about myself. The other one was from a woman in Ireland who I've never met. She emailed me through support@scottinsideout.com, and she told me briefly her journey with mental illness, and then she essentially told me that to keep up the good work. And for me, that's incredibly touching because this is someone I've never met. They're halfway across the world. I don't know how she found me or Scott Inside Out, and she reached out and essentially just was very open, honest, and really supportive of me and what I'm doing with Scott Inside Out. So even though I consider myself mentally stable, and I'm grateful for that, I am continually adding to that Lift Me Up file. And I'm really grateful to say that I've got tons of messages in my digital Lift Me Up file now, and I'm continually adding to them. So it is something that I review from time to time when I'm having a bad day. And I'll post the link below for a blog post I wrote about that, in case you're curious and would like to give it a go. What's a highlight from the last week? I hired someone who is highly recommended as a graphic designer to create a poster for me. I teach Universal Sphere workshops, which is a next generation energy tool, and I'll be teaching a number of those workshops this fall in Calgary, Vancouver, and out here nearby in Canmore. And you know, I came to the realization that I am not really creative with design, and this person came really highly recommended. She lives in Northern California, and she designed a beautiful poster for me on the weekend, and I'm really grateful to have that. And that's a real highlight for me because it's much more visually appealing. I do feel that when it's in different locations, physical locations in Calgary and this area, that people who resonate with that will be drawn to it and potentially reach out to get more information and even register. So that's a real highlight for me, because in the past I always had this tendency to have a desire to do everything myself for my business, and I'm realizing more and more that there's skills I have that are incredible to help people, and there's skills I have that people are much better than me at. So it's better for me to hire those people. And for those of you in business, I'm preaching to the choir. It's something that I'm coming to realize more and more. What am I looking forward to in the next week? On Friday, I'm meeting with a local store who's looking to potentially sponsor us for Six Peaks Lake Louise. So I'm looking forward to that meeting, and I'll definitely update you on this video next Wednesday. Just a reminder of a couple things. Six Peaks Lake Louise is coming up on September 12th. I'm optimistic the smoke will be gone by then. It's incredibly smoky here today. And for those of you who watched the last videos, I was going over Lift Me Up ideas, suggestions, tools. I am creating a toolkit right now, and that is coming. So it will be coming along shortly. Once I have that fully created, I will be sharing it on this video, a link to access it. And it's something that I feel can help anyone, whether you have a mental illness or not, to help you feel better when you're feeling down. And most people that I know have down days, whether they admit it or not. So thanks again for tuning in. For those of you who are loving these videos, I'd appreciate you hitting subscribe and liking. Comment below your experiences with sugar, and if you'd like to get a free resource right now on how to improve your mental health naturally, go to scottinsideout.com. On the homepage, you'll see a green box. It's called Get the 7 Keys. Enter your name and email, and you'll be receiving that resource. So as always, thanks for tuning in. Me and Mikey really appreciate you being here, and make your mind your ally. Take care.